Hi everybody, how are you today? And welcome back to the series Being a Montessori Parent. It is between the ages of 18 months and 24 months when the child starts developing this sense of separate self. What does this mean, the sense of a separate self? It's basically that the child starts seeing themselves as a separate individual. They start feeling their likes, their dislikes, so have a difference of opinion. It also becomes their job at this time to actually exercise the sense of separate self and confirm it. This is exactly the time when we parents start encountering the power struggle. So power struggles are showing us that this sense of separate self is developing in our children, and that is good news. So the child is going to start trying new ways of being. They are going to experiment and see how long can I scream before my parents get irritated, or how long should I cry before my parents give me that chips packet. This is exactly the time when boundary setting becomes extremely essential. And why is it so essential? For two reasons. One, it's going to help in the development of the child. And two, your child is going to learn how to create his own boundaries as he starts growing up. By your setting boundaries, you're not only taking care of the situation now, but you are teaching the child not only how to set boundaries, but also how to hold them. When we give in, when they start pushing, we are sending a message that it's okay to give in when the going gets tough or when it is hard to say no. I think setting boundaries is not only going to make your homes more peaceful and parenting more fun, it's also going to teach your child a lot of things that they're going to need when they grow up. So now let's talk about what are the things that we need to keep in mind when we are setting the boundaries. Here are the things that you need to consider. The first thing is what's going on. You got to stop and figure this out. Then you decide in your head, you're going to go through this, it's a thought process, and this is where your own wisdom is going to come in, using your wisdom and what's right and what's not right for the child. Keeping all this in mind, you're going to determine two things: what's okay, what's not okay. That's all you're going to determine, and you're going to express this that you have figured out in very clear, precise language. For example, if the child is extremely angry and hitting another child, then you say it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to hit another. So this is where you're setting that boundary. The child is going to make the choice. You have offered the choice and they choose. For example, a child is sitting at the dining table and he's throwing his food on the floor. So then you tell the child what's okay and what's not okay. Then you give a choice. You can either sit here and eat your food, or you can be done eating. So you've said this, and now even after this, if the child throws the food, then you say, oh, I guess you chose to be done with your food. And then you take away the child or the plate and the food is done being eaten. So this is where you step in. Now, if you are going to say, I'm going to take away the plate, I'm going to take away the plate, but you're not doing it, this is where we say that it is backsliding. The moment you start backsliding, that's where the problem begins. Very simple. Identify what the problem is, think through it in your head, what's okay, what's not okay, express it, and then follow through. These are the steps that are very crucial and are extremely helpful in setting very, very good and firm boundaries in your homes. The question that most parents ask is, how many times do I do this before my child finally gets it? There is a more important question that you need to ask, and that is, how many times do I have to backslide before my child stops believing me? And the answer to that is just one. You make a boundary and you backslide once, then the child is not going to believe you. If you think that your child is not valuing your words, then stop and think. Maybe you're backsliding. Maybe your boundaries are not firm enough. So then maybe we need to rethink before we make that boundary. Remember the second step after you have identified what the problem is. Remember, you used your wisdom and you came up with the it's okay, it's not okay. That's where you need to stop and think. Am I really making the right choice? Is this for the benefit of the child? These are the questions that you ask there at that point. Then, of course, the next crucial part is the following through, and that's where the backsliding comes. So, your child is going to have power struggles. He or she is going to come up with new ways of trying to manipulate and find different ways of being. That is the way it is, and that's the path of development for the child. But what we need to focus is not that stopping them from doing that, but while they are doing that, we are making those firm boundaries and staying, following through, and therefore helping them find out the ways of being that are harmonious for their living. That's going to be a self-discovery for them. They will find out ways that work for them and that don't work for them through the boundaries that you are setting. I'm going to leave you with this thought. Just form two clear distinctions when you see children manifesting unacceptable behavior. The two distinctions are what's okay, what's not okay, and that's it. You have already set the boundary that's needed for your child's development. Now's the time to press the subscribe button and to visit our website www.formativeage.in to find out all about the courses that we offer. Thank you for listening and goodbye till we meet again.